Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, boy. It's Valentine's Day. This is Spirit Journey. Today is February 14th, 2022, and the time is now 6:03 a.m. in the morning. Yes, it is still very dark outside. And it's cold. Yes, sleeping in the living room again today. I did a movie marathon yesterday. Yeah, I just stayed in all day yesterday, and I enjoyed it. Hey, Cam Cam. Good morning, Cam Cam. Could you hear me? I hope the audio's pretty good. Yeah, sorry. So a little bit of me. Oh, sorry. Yes, hope you can hear me well. Yeah, my little hand is my little hand. Yeah, I'm just kind of just awakening now. Yeah, boy, I just feel like, what a busy day. Yeah, I'm just really, opening my eyes. Oh, great. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Yes, wow. I don't know, I feel like it's real busy. I did get sleep. I know I fell asleep. I did a movie marathon yesterday. I want to talk about to the movies I saw and just in general. Um, yeah, I know I fell asleep. I fell asleep. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, I feel like I did a lot, and I'm just opening my eyes now. And I was thinking, boy, I feel like I went through a lot. Um, but I didn't. It's just a weird feeling. Um, yeah, I yesterday was movie marathon. Yeah, yeah, some days it's hard for me to sleep. Yeah, some days it's hard for me to sleep. And I just stay up. But I did fall asleep, and I know I dreamt a lot. I dreamt a lot. I think my body needed that. Your body needs to dream and unload. But that's what's making me feel like I did a lot today. These are the first words coming out of my mouth. Um, my voice got a lot of rest. I mean, I'm talking very clearly, not like yesterday, so I kept on coughing. But wow, that's all I'm saying. Wow, I just feel like I did a lot, and I did. Let's see, and I know I had a lot of visions too. But what's really weird about the visions, I could hardly. It was very faint. Yeah, I know I dreamt a lot. I dreamt heavy, and then I had the visions. But unfortunate, I don't remember a lot of what I don't really remember what I saw. I just feel amazed because I know, I saw a lot of stuff. I know I experienced a lot of something, whatever. I just feel like I experienced a lot of something, and but I can't put my finger on it really. Um, but just before I open my eyes to just get out of it, the it's like a camera, like a camera's on, when I in my vision, my morning vision thing, and it's sweeping from left to right. Oh, I'm just gonna leave that off. I have my monitor on right next to me. um, yeah, my computer. I left my computer on last night. I fell asleep with it on, but it was like moves from left to right, scoping. but it was so faint. And it looked like I saw a lady, a young woman, um, but it's more like a silhouette of her. It looked like an African face, like a black African female, um, a very curvy face, like with some of the black businesses in United States. At one point, they had this logo called the Black Lady logo, like to signify that the company you're doing business with is a black-owned business. And so she had that type of profile, the outline of her face, very pretty. It again, it's extremely faint, almost like you could see through her, like it was an overlay of a like you're watching something, a movie, and it's an over like an image on top of an image, so you can actually see through her layer. And she's at my immediate left, and as if the camera is like 1 inch away from her face, from diagonally behind her. So that's how I was able to see, her profile and everything. And it looked like she was looking straight ahead, and she was upset or something. She got emotional for what she's looking at, and then she kind of like, in a very intense, she might have covered her face or bent down, and then bent her head down, and then put it up. Something seemed to be was something that was upsetting her. That's what it looked like. Again, it's extremely faint. Um, I think that was the very last part of what I was seeing this morning till I opened up my eyes. Um, Prior to that, I know I saw things. It was very busy, um, but I forgot it. I can't stand that. Yeah, because I think I initially awakened, then I fell back to sleep, then I awakened again, and I know I saw stuff, but I was just amused at what I was looking at. Yeah, I wish I could say more about it, but I think my mind just had to had to unwind. Yeah, I think my mind just had to unwind whatever what your subconscious. Yeah, yeah. I'm reading what you say. That sometimes you do that too. Yeah, I think I had to uh, unload my conscious, my subconscious mind. And that's why I feel so rested. Sorry about that. It was glitching again. Sorry. See that it doesn't want me to talk. Oh well. Okay, so it's back on now. It's back on. Yeah. So let me tell you about the movies that I saw. Yeah. I saw these two movies, and I decided to see both of these movies because recommendation from yesterday's live stream, Rosemary's Baby. I watched Rosemary's Baby and Eyes Wide Shut. Yes, there was a movie marathon yesterday. Movie marathon. And I was actually afraid to look at Rosemary's Baby. I saw it years ago. That movie's over 50 years old. It is 54 years old. Yeah, it went well, Cam Cam. I was, I wanted, initially say that when I was to download the movies, I went on iTunes and I purchased both movies. But I purchased Eyes Wide Shut first. And I saw I saw both movies before. Eyes Wide Shut, I saw at the movie theater when it came on, was at 1997. Yeah, 1997. It didn't do well in the box office, and but yet the movie's kind of hyped, like there was something. See, it was hyped up because there are people that understand the occult meaning of the movie. Yeah, and back then in those days, in 97, I knew nothing about occult anything. I was old school. I was still a Christian, but I had stopped going to church at that time. And I was, just trying to get my life going. I had gone back to school to learn pastry arts. I graduated from it, the program. Um, so that's where I was, you know, um, my social life then. I was a student and working on the side to pay my bills. Um, I didn't take the movie seriously, eyes wide shut. Um, there are commentaries about the movie. Um, my impression again now that it's 20 something years later from watching that movie, um, it's still boring to me. It's a boring film. The only thing that really makes it stand out is that scene where he crashes someone's party. I do initially feel sorry for the character because he and his wife, a young, they looked like a young couple. Yeah, they were. They were 20s, 30s. They had a small child. He played a part of a doctor. And they seem to have everything going for themselves. And one day, they decide to smoke some weed. Okay. Well, some people who do drugs, even weed, it affects their mind. And for her, it made her paranoid. And that's where the problems begin. And she unloads, now he's very diplomatic. He's saying all the right things, and she's ragging on him and misinterpreting him as a person, his character, and it was of a sexual nature. And she also unloads upon him this dream and fantasy that she had, and is really, I mean, it would upset, I think, any man. And I think that's where it really starts for him on his downward pursuits. Um, I think initially things were innocent for him, um, but he's introduced to different people. He's he's called to yeah he's called to the scene, um, a patient. He is a medical doctor, and he's called because one of his patients had passed away, an older man. So he's a doctor. I think he does house calls. So he went to see the wife of the man that died. It's a older couple. And lo and behold, the wife makes sexual advances to him. And he tried to explain to her, you don't really love me, you're just upset. He handles it, I think, protocol under the circumstances. And then he meets a prostitute. And she comes on to him. And then, but nothing happens. That he goes to the prostitute. It was a young woman. And before anything could start, he has to leave. And then then he goes to this club where he sees his an old buddy of his from school, and he learns of a party, and he convinces his friend, hey, just give me the address, he's told that the password and the dress of the day for him to get in, and he does all that. He sees a lot. It's just one thing after another. Um, sorry about sorry about that. The counter's not moving. I hope you can hear me. It was just glitching for a long time. Yeah, I think when I say the M word, it seems to glitch, cause the buffering. Oh, I don't know whether you guys could hear me. Are you still there? Could you still hear me? Okay, okay, I'm back on now. I'm back on. Yeah, I can see, that's okay, you're saying. Okay, yeah, it seems like when I say the M word, MOVIE, it seems to glitch. Okay, so I can't say, it doesn't want me to say that word. So either way, um, so actually the movie, it's about temptation. He was first, it's like he's being goaded on to experiment. And it seems like at the end, and I did watch a commentary about the movie, Eyes Wide Shut, he never actually does anything sexually. He almost, but almost isn't doing it. And it seems like possibly the whole thing was, it was planned, possibly. Could you imagine you go through life and you're being tested, and this group, this occult organization, seem to use everyone? Because you see, remember the wife in the beginning of the movie? Now, isn't she flirty with the European man? She was very flirtatious. She was said, oh well, she's drunk. Being drunk is one thing, and playing along with the guy's seduction is something else. And both of them were being seduced. The two ladies at the party, the first party, um, were heavily coming on to him. So I feel like they were being baited. And I imagine, I mean, I've never been in anything like that before, but what I interpret about it, how I internalize what was going on, is that people get tested. People get tested about to find out what they're into, what are their boundaries, okay? What are they being tested with? What are their boundaries? And what are they able to, what are they able to tolerate? They show you things, and they hope to find out by testing what you could, what they can get away with. And so organizations like that, they want new blood. They always want new blood. And I think that's all what it was about. And to see how, do they pass the test? Like, remember, the first party, he's invited to, one of his friends, a rich guy, invites he and his wife to the party. And then he's called upstairs because one of the ladies almost overdoses. And he said, oh, could you, be discreet about this? Don't tell anybody. And he, as a doctor, of course, he's, keep things confidential. But each time, like, the he's being tested more and more. So, the person that almost overdosed, he's a married man. His friend is a married man who's with this woman that almost overdosed, and she's completely naked, and he's putting on his clothes. So the inference is that he was involved with this woman, and he's married. His wife is downstairs below. So he keeps that confidential. He kept confidential the wife of the man who passed away. So I'm just seeing it now. That's what's going on. Tests. And these organizations want to see how far they can go. How far will you be able to go in a matter like that? Yeah, he, even to the point where, now he didn't have sex with this particular prostitute, but I think they might have kissed. And then he's told that she tested positive for HIV. Now, if you're a married man, no, he didn't have sex with her, but he did, I think, kiss her on the mouth. I think that's what happened. Would you tell? Would you tell? See, it gets more and more personal, what you're willing to hide from your partner. So it's really interesting. It reminds me of something on a personal matter. Many of you know that I used to be in the military. I was in the Navy, and the first port of call on the ship, I remember us, we have time off to go and explore, and I went out with one or two other people. I remember that at one point it was just one other person, and maybe the other person came later on, but at least at this one point, one person that I that was in my indoc, what do you call indoc class. That's when they introduced the ship life. I worked on the ship, lived and worked on the ship, and she was in that class with me. And so at the end of the day, we had time off, and we were to explore someplace in Europe. It could have been Italy. And she's telling me about an incident that this is very bizarre. She was a lesbian. She's only like 17 or 18 years old. I'm 25 and a half. And she's telling me that, see, an incident happened on the ship. And the incident entailed that, at least what I was told, debriefed on, I think that's the term you're debriefing, well, information, that a woman in the post office aboard the ship, someone puts a tissue or something with lipstick, written in red lipstick, something threatening to harm her. Oops. Sorry, the volume just, sorry about that, the volume just went off. Yeah, it was a threat. And so the captain of the ship, according to, the briefing that I had, was that all the people of that persuasion were given ultimatum to that you have to leave the ship. You're going to be kicked out of the military, but they're not going to. Um, they're going to still give you a positive, um, honorable separation. They'll do that at least. And so a lot of the women left the ship, and this happened just before I came aboard the ship. So this woman is telling me what happened, and that what she was, and that they're leaving her on the ship to try to uh, flesh out any other remaining lesbian. This is what she's telling me. So she's telling me that she's telling me this, how she's going to entrap people, and then she holds my arm uh, like she's demonstrating, but I think she's trying to entrap me to see if where I flow, so to speak. Yeah, I don't like people touching me. Because see, you have people, and that's a good example. How you have some people, even when they're telling you that they are trying to entrap people, they're trying to entrap you of something that you're not a part of. Yeah, it was weird. And so I'm thinking about that incident in my being the military, the Navy, and that young girl. Yeah, yeah, it was very bizarre, Cam. Yeah, I'm a friendly person. I like to talk, but I don't feel comfortable people holding, that I don't know. Yeah, yeah, we were on the ship, you know, but to have someone, like, she tried to put her arm around my arm, like your boyfriend girlfriend type of thing, because she's demonstrating what she's going to do to entrap people. Isn't she also trying to entrap me to find out where I am about? And I didn't like that. I don't like that. Yeah, and then she finally does get discharged from the military. This lady, and she says to me, like, before she got left, I think they gave her 2 weeks to try to flesh out any other lesbians aboard the ship. And she's telling me about that she's married. Yeah, I need my personal space. She said that she wants to leave the military. She wants to go back to her wife. And this is all new type of talk for me. Uh, yeah, yeah, I didn't like it. She's trying to trap me. And again, we went to, like, it's a big ship. There's more men than women aboard the ship. It has, I think, 1,500 people. It could be maybe 500 women in total and 1,000 men. Living quarters are separate for men and women. And this is my first day out, both of our first day outside from the ship. Like you have a work day, and again, two weeks in this work day. I mean, two. I think it was a 2 week period. We had to be briefed on the ship. Where things are. You have to sign in when you're in the military. Sign into different departments, things like that. And I think this was for 2 weeks, and she was in that class with me and some other people. Yeah. But yeah, it was a very bizarre incident about the ship. And I think at one point the news did get it. The television news did hear about the incident. Um, no, no, I'm sorry, because something else could have happened also. Yeah, it's a little confusing with the timing. I'm trying to remember now. But see, there was another thing that happened. This this other ship had and something exploded on the ship, and yeah, okay, that was another incident. Yeah, something happened on another ship, an explosion, and they tried to spin it as it was a um, a lovers thing that they did it for insurance. Um, and then the women where I was watching it on TV with the other shipmates were saying things, brother. Uh, but I think the news people, I think some of the new, yeah, I think maybe some of the news heard about the story, or the women that were kicked off the ship, they might have went to the new, the news outlets. But it didn't last long, the controversy. Yeah, that should be interesting. Yeah, I was on the USS Yellowstone AD 41. It's now decommissioned, the ship. Yeah, it's decommissioned. And yeah, they squashed that news big time. Yeah, there were people like that on the ship. I think most of the people, it was like they had their own. It's something about their look. It's something about their face, the physical. I don't know. It's just something about them that they stand out. And one day I went to one, like we have like the men and women's quarters are separate. So we have like a lounge of where where we can just hang out, watch TV, after working hours we could just sit down, watch a little TV, and then we go to our sleeping quarters. And one day I went in the TV lounge, and all the women that were had that weird look were all in there. I felt out of place. I had walked in, looked around, and walked right out. It was like a meeting they were having. All the lesbians or the whatever were there. Now we all wear the same clothes. We all wear the same uniform. But it was something about a particular group at that time. It's just something physical about them. And again, what people okay, I have to say this, that whatever your preference is your preference. What you're into is what you're into. So I don't want to insult anybody of that persuasion. Um, you love who you love, but I'm just saying that out of a whole ship, and just to watch some TV, they seem very identifiable, that it was a meeting for this particular uh, persuasion. And I sensed it immediately. And I know, see, a lot of things are not by chance. That event that happened to me in that television lounge was not an accident. And I knew not to go in there. Yeah, it was other things. So either way, so why I mentioned about the story, in general, about my military and the military stay in the Navy, that see, you are being tested. That's the point. And they're going to test you to see about your sexual orientation, what type of people you flow with. You are all being tested, even in the military. And so a movie like Eyes Wide Shut, the couple, the married couple, the husband and wife, they too are being tested. But some of the commentary on the movie Eyes Wide Shut, they suggest that the woman, the wife all along, she is an initiate. But she's acting as if like she's innocent, but she's actually a part of this club, and they got to her first. And now the husband is being tested. One thing I could say about um, the end of the movie, um, see, the whole thing, I think they would have prevented that whole matter to happen in the movie Eyes Wide Shut about the temptations and all that. You know, they when you go to a party, you stay together as a couple. That was, I think, that the main thing. Stay together as a couple. When you go into a party, you don't know any of the people, and you see you look first. You examine what people are doing. What are they doing? Are they just everybody going around and trying to flirt, whatever? So if that's the case, you stay together as a couple, arm in arm. So you both, if you're going to be tempted, you're going to be tempted both because they're going to target both of you together. And yes, interesting. I've been to a party once. I was invited to a party. I had a relative that invited me to be the guest, and this relative is married. So the husband and wife. Then I'm invited. I'm their guest. They thought, oh, it'll be an opportunity for me to meet other people. Well, at that party, they had, yeah, it was a man, and he's flirting with the lady, and the husband is standing right there, and he is coming on to his wife. So some people, they don't care whether you're married or not. They don't care whether your spouse is standing right there. This was a long time ago, that party. Over 30 years ago, I think. Yeah, over 30 years ago. And I'm thinking, wow. Yeah, and I was one of the younger ones at the party. Yeah, yeah, I was young. I was in my early 20s. And these people are much older. And some of them had children already. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember there's another party too. Yeah, this was a recent party. You had a woman, she came with her husband, and one of the married men there uh, approaches her and starts talking filthy in my book. Filthy. I'm thinking, what type of thing is this? You know, I thought it was totally inappropriate. But see, I think, these movies are just reflecting, like in the movie Eyes Wide Shut. I mean, they have all different levels of initiations and stuff like that. But human nature is human nature. That's what I'm getting at. Human nature is human nature. And human nature is that when people are together in social environments, like a party, people may drink, have alcohol, and it seems like, alcohol and, you know, certain substances affects the way, your behavior. So that's why I don't really like, as I get older, I tend to like to stay indoors, by myself because people's morality. And when people, so human nature, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a janitor, human nature is the same. So that's basically what I got out of that movie, Eyes Wide Shut. Now, the other movie I saw was Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby is a, it's 54 years old. Can't believe it. Yeah, it came out in 1968. 1968, that movie. And it took, I think they said 3 or 4 years to make the movie, actually. Now, I saw the movie when it came on television. This is in the possibly the early 70s, 1970s. Yeah. And I remember how spooked I felt. I was only a little girl. Little, I could have been 9 8 9 years old. And yes, I watched it with my family. Yeah, but I felt, cause see, the movie just has mystery to it, and so even still today, I was hesitant to uh, purchase the movie because I didn't, because I was scared. I was actually afraid to see the movie, even though I saw the movie many years ago. So I said, okay, so I finally paid for the movie to download it. And there's no, it's classified as a horror film, but there's really no horror in it. They have a point. The because the movie has like a lot of these movies that you can download, they have like special features, discussion. And so I was watching, after I saw the movie, I saw also the discussion about the movie. And yeah, I would tend to agree with what their commentary. There's really no horror. I mean, no physical violence or things like that, like you see in modern day horror films. Everything is what's, I think, more of an inference. It's more inferred, and so it it provokes your imagination. I would say the whole film. I think they had this weird. Oh, sorry. I think they had like music in the background. It was very. It was just a weird film. It was in color also. The movie was in color, even though it came out in the 1960s. Actually, yeah. So I guess they're introducing color film for like the first time. Yeah, because I remember at one point, at least when I was watching TV back in the day, that they would say, "Oh, introducing Technicolor," because many of the television used to be in black and white screen, and then they introduced color, and then that was supposed to be a big thing, to see movies and television in color. Yeah. So this movie came out in color. What stood out to me about the movie? It was very sexist, I thought. Um, yeah, it featured a young woman. She could have been in her early 30s, and the husband was older. He played an older part. He was a struggling actor, and they moved into what we call the Dakota building. Yeah, I saw it. Yes, yeah, one of the viewers was mentioning about the Dakota. Yes, in my video that I did yesterday, my live stream. And I said, "Oh wow, that movie featured the Dakota building, the building that John Lennon used to live in on 72nd Street in Manhattan." So I said, "Wow, really?" I said, "I gotta see it." That's why I saw it, because when he was talking about, I said, "Wow, I didn't know Rosemary's Baby was featured the Dakota." Yeah, it did. But yeah, I watched it. Um, it was just weird. Yeah, the lady was young, very skinny, um, and the people that she befriended, they're all uh, older people, considerably older. Yeah, the neighbors like in their late 70s, and they already, if they had kids, their kids would be much older. So I thought that was odd. Yeah, they had let's see, yeah, they were invited to dinner by this couple, elderly couple, and they had a roommate. Uh, I mean, they had a woman that lived in there, and she had like a past. I think she was a prostitute or something. She was something out there, and her life was going nowhere. And so this older couple invites her in to live with them. So she stayed. She lived with them. I forget how long she lived there with them, but she seemed very happy. And they gave her a charm, like a lucky charm, but it had this weird smell coming from it. Well, it turns out that this older couple in their 70s were witches. And this lady, this young lady that lived with them, commits suicide by jumping off the building. And that's pretty much the beginning of the movie. That the two girls, two ladies, the new couple that came in, and then the young lady that lived with the elderly couple, they had met up, innocently. It was very positive, and they're talking. Yeah, I remember. They were in the laundry room. That's it. They were in the laundry room in the building, and they introduced each other. That they were new to the building, and um, everything seemed positive. And then she, commits suicide. Um, Also in the movie that I thought was odd is that yeah, oh yeah. So when the couple, um, the young couple that this movie is about, yeah, they were on their way home, and they see that there was an accident on the, and they found out that the friend, the new acquaintance, the young lady, uh, died. And the cops want to know who the lady was, get the name. And they said, yes, she's so and so, but they don't know her last name, and that she lives with this elderly couple in the building. And then the older couple approached, soon after, and they told the couple, the elderly couple, what happened, and they're distraught about everything, and that opens a door, so to speak, of how the the now new couple and the elderly couple ought to hook up. The pretense was, oh, we're upset about what happened to the young lady, blah blah blah. Hey, why do you come over our house for dinner? And and then she says, because I'm real upset about what happened to the girl. So they were manipulating them, the pretense, the young lady that died, and now they're lonely, you know. So they said, okay, they go, and they seem to have a great time. And one thing led to another. So um, I was amazed though that the I mean, I don't understand it. The elderly couple and the were asking very, uh, they were nosy. They were like just getting in their business. Um, I I I wanted I mean the type of conversation they have. Um, it just seemed very open. I mean, very. I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to have conversations so bold about it. So I thought. So I don't know whether it's just different cultural things. Like the wife wasn't feeling well, and I mean, you're just meeting these ladies. Yeah, it was a group of older ladies that came to her apartment, and they're talking about, yeah, they bring, what was that? I know I'm kind of over the place. Yeah, they brought in like knitting things to knit and crochet. Um, they talk about the menstrual cramps and things. It was just bizarre. People you're just meeting. So I guess fast forward, this is now 54 years later since that movie. Yeah, the Rosemary's Baby is 54 years old. That is a long time. So I would say what really characterized that movie is that, at least in Hollywood films, that the boundaries between people's homes were open. Uh, Conversations. Oh, women's play. Yeah, it was a very sexist film. I felt it had like the women. They came over and they were knitting, crocheting. How many people you go to someone's house are they knitting or crocheting or doing arts and craft things? Yeah. See, 50. When you think about it, 54 years ago is 54 years ago, and women's roles were different than men. Women, because when I was watching the film, I was seeing it as if, what were my parents doing, you know, 54 years ago? Yeah, my mother, she was a housewife. My father worked outside of the house. My mother stayed at home and mind the kids. Totally different now. Now they show, like, if it's a modern film, someone just getting married, yeah, that the woman and the man are living outside. They're both working. I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. They're both working outside of the home. Um, they might be living together and they're not married. Yeah, it's totally different. It's a totally different expectation. Um, the, um, the decorating the house. While the husband's away, the wife is the one that is really setting up the place, doing the decoration. Yeah. Uh, and that they seemed like they wanted to start a family right away. That was another thing that surprised me about the movie. They just move into a place, and the husband is an actor, but he's not really working regularly. He does, they said, mostly television, but he wants to get in TV. Um, yeah, I don't know. They didn't explain how they were able to afford to live in a place like the Dakota. Yeah, this is a famous building on 72nd Street. It's the building that John Lennon used to live in before he got, what happened to him. And that's 41. This year would make it, I think, 42 years. Yes, this December will make it 42 years since his passing. Yeah, I worded very carefully. Yeah, I remember that day. Yeah, and that happened at the Dakota. Yeah, so you see that society is changing, and a movie like The Exorcist, yeah, it really didn't have any horror in it, but I had such anxiety to watch it, even though I watched it when it came on television for the first time 50 plus years ago. Yep, I watched it with my family. And I remember, like, everybody talked about it. Rosemary's Baby, Rosemary's Baby. Everybody said talk about this Rosemary's Baby. But the movie, in today's standard, it's very slow paced. Um, it's just it, but it grabs your attention. The wife in the movie, Rosemary, she comes across very childlike. Um, yeah, her body is almost like a child's, and that the people in her circle, yeah, because initially, everybody that she's around elderly people, people who are maybe 30 years older than her in the movie, grandparent types. But she didn't have her peers. So at one point in the movie, uh, her boundaries really started to get, she started to get, sense something wasn't right. And she says, so she tells her husband, she says, you know something? We haven't had any of our friends. I said, we have friends, and I'm not in communication with them anymore. I'm going to have a party, and it'll be just for uh, my friends, to celebrate that now that I'm pregnant and blah, blah, blah. And so finally she gets her own friends. So I would say what I learned from that, from the movie, is that when you move into a new environment and things are different, I think it's good and healthy for you to have that sense of continuity and have your friends, people who you've known for a long time, who know you, especially if you're a woman and you just um, pregnant for the first time, be around things that are familiar with you that give you a sense of peace. See, the older couple, they were just um, infusing their standards. Yeah, more and more they started to infringe on the wife's choices, such as doctors. Now, she had gotten her own doctor in the movie, Rosemary. And the older neighbor says, "Oh no, you should use so and so. Oh, he's so well known." So they used in the movie status, status to determine who's going to be something as intimate as your OBGYN ladies. Don't have people choose your doctors for you, especially something intimate like that. You're going to be giving birth for the first time. You choose your own doctor. You interview them. Find out, whether you click or not. And that caused a lot of her problems. Even like medicine. Oh, you shouldn't take those vitamins. You don't know what's in it. Let me make you this concoction. Excuse me. Let me get some water. Sorry, here my water bottle. So sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah. So they started telling her what to drink, what to eat, and she saw herself in the reflection. She started to eat like raw meat, raw liver. I mean that has iron in it. Yet she wasn't looking well. And when she finally had her friends come over, to have a little party with her friends in her new apartment, her friends told her the truth. They come in and said, "Wow, you look awful." These were real friends. They told her the truth. So what I learned from that is, um, choose friends that are honest with you, that would tell you the scoop. You know, not. I mean, some people, so-called friends, they want to always tell you something bad because they might be jealous. But choose people in your lives that mean your best good, that really mean well for you. They want the best for you. And luckily, they were at the party, and they helped her in uh, getting help. Yeah, because her whole world now is surrounded by elderly neighbors, uh, dictated what she ate, what she drank, and the husband went along with it. And it turns out that the husband was in on it from the beginning. Somehow, yeah, they see. I guess some of these groups they separate the couple. They might say, "Oh, we're going to a man's thing, or we're going to a woman's thing." It's to separate you, to really find out what you're about, and to influence you. Yeah, so and that's when they probably when they invited the guy to go to something, that's when they probably talked to him and promised him, I guess, wealth and stuff like that. And so he was willing to sacrifice the birth of the kid, the pregnancy, for his fame. It was something else. Yeah, it was an interesting movie. It wasn't but it had your attention. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby had the attention, but it was all inferred about the bit. Like, they never showed the baby. They showed, they showed her interaction with, because she found out, if they lied to her that the baby was born dead, um, but it wasn't. But she heard a baby cry in the room, the apartment next to her, and they still wanted her to milk her, to milk her breast. So why have a milk her breast if there's no baby? So then she started investigating, and yeah, she discovers her baby survived, and uh, yeah, then it's very interesting. It seemed like she came to terms with everything, her awareness, and I'm surprised they didn't make a part two. Yeah, they didn't make a part two, and I'm surprised. They should make a part two in Rosemary. Yeah, you notice back then, the late '60s and the early '70s. Remember they had this other movie called Damien. Damien is similar in the sense that someone, a kid coming of age, getting older, and he supposed to be like the Antichrist. So I guess that where Rosemary Baby ends, the movie Damien comes in. Yeah, that came out in the 1970s. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 So what do you think? Do you think that the movie Damien is like a sequel, if any, to Rosemary's Baby? Yeah, that was made by Roman Polanski. Yeah, he's not coming to the States. Yeah, it was directed and the screenplay by Roman Polanski, and infamous fellow. He left the U.S. so he doesn't get prosecuted for having sex with an underage girl. Yeah, very controversial. Very, very controversial person. Um, Interesting movie though. Um, wow. It was something, yeah, that was my movie marathon that I saw this weekend, yesterday. I watched both of them yesterday. So I watched Rosemary's Baby and Eyes Wide Shut. Both movies I saw when it came out. Yeah, yeah. Rosemary's Baby when it actually came out on television, and I was a little girl. And then Eyes Wide Shut, I saw at the movie theater, and that came out over 20. What's that? About 20. What's that? 24 years ago. It came out 97. Oh, yeah, 20 plus years ago. Yeah, wasn't it was just weird, that movie. So that's it. Yeah, it was a busy night. Busy, busy. Yeah, I feel like I've been awake for hours. But no, I got up late just now. That's about it. So, wow. Yeah, be careful, people. If you're a couple, do things together and compare notes. And don't let people um, manipulate you to do things. They're out there. They're nosy neighbors. They're different levels of initiating you to for them to do things and blackmail you. Yes. Yeah, especially with Eyes Wide Shut. And especially what I mentioned about my being in the Navy with the lesbians aboard the ship, and that they were being kicked out of the military for their status, and that one of those ladies that I talked to you about uh, was left on the ship to entice women to find out, to weed out all the potential lesbians on board, and she was being used to lure them out. And she's telling me this. Yeah, you're going to be tested. And they test you, and they may not stop. Once they test you, they're going to probably continue to test you out to see how far they can go and how far, you know, they want to initiate you to things. Yeah. Initiation, it just means to start something. It doesn't mean that you finish it. And they can start you on different levels, different times of the day, years. Yep. Yeah, protect yourself. And don't let other people get in between your relationship with your spouse or your family. And I would say that's what both movies, the Rosemary's Baby and Eyes Wide Shut, that's a theme. Don't let outsiders come in between your relationship. Do things together because they're going to try to tempt you to blackmail, potentially blackmail you. People like to blackmail people. Don't let them do it. Okay? Yeah, that's all that I could think of regarding my movie marathon over this weekend. And the story I mentioned about my stay in the Navy, and the visions that I had. It was just so busy. It was very faint. Uh, I I could hardly see anything, and I know it was just very busy. And at one point, it looked like I saw an African lady, young African woman. She had a very African shape. Her profile is what I saw. She It looked like she had like a rubber band, like something pulling her hair back off her face, and then the back of her head, like little tiny braids or something, or it's matted or something, that type of hairstyle. That's what it looked like I saw. It was very, very faint, and she seemed to be upset. So that's my words for the day, and yeah, that's all I can think of. Oh, before I go, did anybody watch, be a part of that? Remember yesterday I mentioned about this to be one of the YouTubers, to have a DNA activation thing that I talked to you about. Did anybody participate in that? If so, how did it go? You guys know who I'm talking about? Yeah, I didn't go on it. I just watched TV. Yeah, yeah. So that's about it. So I can't think of anything more. Thank you guys for watching. Um, Stay safe. Don't let people get in between your life. Use discernment and enjoy your day. Take care. Until next time. Bye bye.